Solar Stiff by Charles A. Stouffer. This is a Librivox recording. All Librivox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit Librivox.org. Read by Dale Grothman. Totem poles are a dime a dozen north of 63 degrees, but only Ketch, the lying Eskimo, vowed that they dropped out of the frigid northern skies. Solar Stiff by Charles A. Stouffer. Phobos 5 gazed at the white expanse ahead, trying to determine where his ship would crash. Something was haywire in the fuel system of his inner star runabout. He was losing altitude fast, so fast that all 5 pairs of his eyes couldn't focus on a place to land. 5 pairs of arms, each pair about 3 feet apart on the log-like body, pushed buttons and rotated controls frantically, but to no avail. In a few short minutes it would be all over for Phobos 5. Even if by some miracle he remained unhurt after crashing, he would die shortly thereafter. The frigid climatic conditions of the third planet were deadly to Mercurians. He thought once of donning his spacesuit, but decided against it. That would merely prolong the agony. From Planet 3, when one has a smashed space cruiser, there is no return. Phobos 5 knew that death was riding with him in the helpless ship. The situation did not necessarily dismay him. Mercurians are philosophers. Phobos 5 ceased to manipulate the unresponding controls. Stretching his trunk-like torso to its full 20 feet, 4 heads gazed through observation ports at the 4 points of the compass, while the remaining head dulcitorily watched the instrument panel. Since die he must, Phobos 5 would meet his end stoically, and 5 pairs of stumpy arms folded over 5 chests in a coordinated gesture of resignation. Phobos 5 thought fleetingly of his wife, Lingua 4, and remembered with some annoyance that she was the author of his present predicament. A social climber, Phobos 5 thought to himself, but aside from that, a good wife and mother, in addition to being a reigning beauty. Lingua 4 was tall even for a Mercurian. Already she had scaled 7 dregs, or, in Earth terms, 14 feet, and was beginning to show evidence of a 5th head. 5 heads were rarely found on females, and Phobos 5 was justly proud of his good fortune. In all Mercury, at the present time, he knew of but 2 females possessing 5 heads, and soon Lingua 4 would be a third of her sex to be thus endowed. Yes, thought Phobos 5, a woman to be proud of, for today, after 3 vargs of marriage, the memory of her thin trunk with 4 pairs of eyes laughing mischievously filled his 5 brains with flame. Slim as a birch, she stood in his memory, and 8 eyes whispered lovers' thoughts across space and time. Phobos 5 recalled his 5 minds from their nostalgic reverie and gazed at the contour of the earth that was rushing up to meet him. White, blazing white, reflecting the rays of the midnight sun covering the region as far as the eye could reach. Good, thought Phobos 5, the polar regions. That means the end will come quickly. 1 or 2 seconds, at the most, of that bitter cold would be enough. Turning away from the windows, Phobos 5 let his thoughts return to Lingua 4, to Phobos 2, his son, and his home on the first planet from the sun. Ah, that is the place to live, thought Phobos. The temperature is an unchanging 327 degrees, just comfortably warm, where one can enjoy a life of warmth and ease. Too bad that he would not live to see it again. 30 vargs, he reflected, is such a short life. With luck, perhaps he would have lived to see 100 vargs slip by, and perhaps in time he would have added 3 more heads, and 5 dregs in length to his
Sample complete. Ready to continue?